Yes, people, I'm getting through this. Home from home, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I really want to eat your food and I'm hungry. Today's episode is sponsored by Home from Home. Yes, Coz We Can is back.
First of all, I think you should put more emphasis on the fact that we're back. Because
we're back. I'm hungry, bro. Like, we're back. This is the food that we're eating right now. Ackee and saltfish, plantain, dumplings. You get what I'm saying?
Red fruit.
Red fruit. You get what I'm saying? And this is all stuff that you can get from Home, who's been serving their local community since the 1970s. This is a black-owned business, and for local businesses, please hit up my manager Harry at soincredible.tv if you want to advertise with the show. We are not doing our corporate prices, which are violent. We are doing prices that support the community, okay? So big brands can't advertise here unless it was horrific P. But for the local businesses, we're here for you. We got you. So we got Home from Home Jamaican Ackee, Home from Home Callaloo, Home from Home Jerk Seasoning, Home from Home Dried Sorrel.
What?
You get what I'm saying? So shout out Home from Home. Their Instagram is Home from Home Foods. So make sure to check that out. It's a family business. It's a black-owned business. They have stores in Wolverhampton and other places. They started off in the Midlands. They most of the imports come in to their London base. Home from Home Foods. Make sure to get involved. I'm eating this food now because I'm so hungry, bro. Oh my gosh, I haven't eaten since breakfast. Right, what are we talking about?
I feel like this is going to distract me. You eating?
Why?
No, it just is. I just can tell.
Oh my god, this is so good, bro.
So
Monica and Brandy.
Monica and Brandy. I loved
How do you feel about the verses?
I stayed up till 4 o'clock to watch it. Mm-hmm. It was epic. I know everyone on Instagram was like, oh, and Twitter, they don't like each other, blah, 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 blah. Monica looked in. But do you know what? I think we need to normalise people not necessarily liking each other. Do you know what I mean? It's okay if you don't like someone. Do you get what I mean? It's okay if, but I just think you should be cordial. There's a few girls that I don't...
But Monica was less than cordial.
But then did you see them after when they was hugging each other and stuff? What if someone's face is just like that? Because my face sometimes looks like I'm disinterested. Remember when everyone in the comments was saying I looked like I wasn't interested when you was talking about... I can't remember what we was talking about. Mm-hmm. Most of the time I'm not interested when you talk, but what I'm saying is that... First of all, have you missed me? That is the question.
Greatly.
Have you? Mm-hmm. Big man David, walked out the BBC and you said, not here for this, not here for it all. How much pumps did you get that week? How many DMs did you get that week? I just want to know. Come on, David, tell me. How many DMs did you get that day of girls all of a sudden on your penis?
Who do you feel like won the versus battle?
No, I want to know. How many DMs? How many DMs did you get?
Do you feel like Monica ever stood a chance against
And
Brandy?
has it increased your the Puswali power?
Do you feel like...
I just want to know.
Monica didn't sing?
Because I feel like if more men took a stand like you, they don't realise that the pumps would just fly in because women love men with
risking
morals.
your financial security.
No, but I'm saying, but now you probably can have...
So your drawing power can increase as well.
No, but now you can get a good wife instead of, having to pay a cleaner to come and clean up for you. You know what I mean?
Why are you trying my business?
Because I'm letting the girls know that he's got money for a cleaner. And he just told me that he can order takeaway every night. That means, girls, he can also take you out to eat every night. If you can order takeaway, then he'd take you out to eat. That means you're doing it right for yourself. And ladies want financial security. I hate to break it to you. I know girls try to lie.
Oh, I know they do because since the show stopped, you've been calling me non-stop, wanting the show to start again.
No, I'm good. I was making sure you was actually okay. I was actually good. I'm actually good. Was good. I'm good. I actually was, because people would message me saying, how's David? How's David? I always think my main thing was about momentum. Should I tell you why? Because I know how hard it is to build momentum and I don't want our momentum to go. It's not about the money. I actually like this show. I care about it. I told you already. Do you think I'm going to travel all the way to Birmingham do you know what I mean? I have to believe in it. You know what I'm saying?
It's mad as well because I saw a lot of people message me like, when is the show coming back?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. We don't want the momentum to go. We don't want people to be like, oh, look, yeah, they recorded 8 episodes and where they gone now?
Sorry about that, people. We had to take a little break. I had to sort out some stuff in the background. We're back now.
David had man after him. BBC sent people for him, Had to go on the lay low. Anyway, I just had to check on you, just had to make sure your whereabouts. What was I going to say?
She's so good, bro.
I know. I'm not a festival person. Do you want it? Do you want my festival?
No.
Actually, I'll keep this one. They taste really nice, but I'm not a festival person. It's too like... Some food I find really daunting, and festival is one of them. Festival and sometimes dumpling.
Is it because you feel like you can't defeat it?
Yeah, and it's just a bit like... It's really solid for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but...
I set myself up with that one. Anyway, back
Before
to
you
the...
were well trained in taking solid substances.
I am. But they usually go down smoother. Do you know what I mean? It's more liquidy.
All right, so back to the verses. Right. I feel like if you're in the public eye,
Yeah.
like Monica is, and for how long Monica has been, this is a bit of a mukbang episode. Then you should be very, very aware of how you are coming across. I excuse you because even both of us really are just starting out in this media game. Monica's been in this for what, maybe like 2 decades now. Mm-hmm. She should know when she's on camera, you have to present a more smiley, happier version of yourself because you are now being monitored for your body language like never before. You are not amongst your friends that know what your resting face looks like.
And she should have known as well because through the whole versus month, what's been going on, they always cut things and make memes out of it.
Yep.
So if I was her, you're right, I probably would have been a bit more smiley, but then why should she have to do that? Why? Because...
You don't have to, but then just prepare to hold this Instagram.
But I think also people really wanted there to be some sort of tension between them.
She didn't have to go on like that.
I don't think she went on any... That's it. I think the public also wanted there to be some sort of tension between them because...
Exactly.
Yeah, but whatever happened, because then if Monica went on there and was too smiley, they'll be like, look, Monica's being fake. Whatever she done, whatever she done, there would have been an issue. If Monica sat there and was just like, yeah, they would have got a screenshot of her smiling like this and then would have put something there saying, oh, look, she's forcing the smile. She's this, she's that. At this point, they probably couldn't have won no matter what. Do you get what I mean? I just think they're two different personalities. They've got mutual respect for each other. I think they're two different personalities. I think Brandy is not aware though of herself sometimes. Like Brandy was literally singing some of Monica's songs and adding new harmonies to Monica's songs to let her know that you did harmonies on this song and you should have done this harmony.
She's in a battle, she's in a verses.
No, I know, but that's how it came across. But let's be honest, who do you think won?
Brandy, yeah.
Brandy is like, I just feel like Brandy is so underrated. Brandy is like, her vocal ability and what she's capable of, she should be just as successful as Beyonce, but she's not.
I wouldn't say she's underrated.
If you're the best vocalist, she should be more recognised.
I don't think Brandy's a better vocalist than Beyonce, to be clear. But
Whoa. Are you taking the piss?
I think she's in the same league, but I think...
What? Nah, David, you can never say that. No. Brandy, her vocal ability, are you alright? Better than, she's in the same league as Beyonce. Brandy's is probably the best vocalist. Like, what Brandy does is dumb. Beyonce could never. To me, that is wild.
Fair enough.
It just lets me know that you haven't got a musical ear. And that's what I'm understanding at this moment. You're not in tune. Do you get what I mean? You're not in tune, but a lot of people, you know, that think drill is good music, they've got bad taste in music across the board anyway. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, moving on.
I just hope that you're okay with everything that you're going to receive for that throwaway line.
No, I'm just saying.
Like you were making points. You were fine. Like you made your point. Everyone got it. There was no need for an analogy, a metaphor, a simile. You just decided to just throw that out there and let that be what it is.
Yeah, but it's true though. Like you can't. Why would I think you'd appreciate a beautiful voice like Brandy?
who disappreciates Brandy. I'm saying...
You tried to say that Harry and Beyonce are more or less the same, and they're not.
I never said they're more or less the same.
You said they're in the same bracket.
I think they're in the same league,
That's what I just said.
No, saying that they're in the same bracket isn't saying that they're... That they're the same.
I said more or less. Listen to the words that come out of my mouth, David, okay? You're not listening to me today, I can feel it.
I am listening.
I don't feel like you're present in this situation. That's what I don't feel like you're present.
I'm present now, I bet now.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You do know there's going to be like loads of comments of like, I don't understand why they was eating, that was so distracting. Anyway.
I was eating because I was hungry.
Okay, anyway.
Can I say something?
Go on.
I'm over
Versus.
internet comments.
Oh.
So...
Are you?
No, see, smart people learn from their own mistakes. Wise people learn from the mistakes of others. I am in full regret of how much I went in on Wiley.
Really?
Yes.
See, I don't regret nothing.
No. Yeah, you're not really trying to grow as a person, though. So.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I am in full.
I understand why people like me.
I am in full. And
I always
regret.
think about things that I say. Whereas you, I just feel like you have verbal diarrhea and you just speak and you speak and you speak and you speak. And as you speak, your voice gets louder and louder. Do you get what I mean? That's why you're in regret now. You should have thought about what you said.
That's not why I'm... Oh, no, I stand by what I said. I'm in regret about the volume, not as in loudness, as I mean amount that I said it. You see, it comes off as hate. It comes off as very aggressive. From a black man towards another black man, which is the biggest part. Which is the biggest part of the regret.
Oh, nice.
Which is the biggest part of the regret. Because...
You know, if I was at home, I just would have wiped it on my clothes, but I don't think I'm nasty on camera.
I hear that. But saying that kind of defeats the purpose. You might as well have just done it.
No. Because I'm letting people know. Next thing you know, I would have done it on the low key and someone would have pointed out in the comments like, did you just wipe her hands in her clothes?
True, and then they felt like they caught you.
Yeah. Whereas now it's
so
just
yeah, I, in response to people that had a problem with what I said, ended up talking about him more.
Right.
So now I'm a part of the mob attacking this man.
Because you're trying to justify yourself.
Because I was trying to justify my point. You get what I'm saying? Now, when I say things, I'm going to say what I said and I'm going to leave it. Because it's the same thing with how I learned how to properly categorize racism from you on this show. And people, because I didn't understand it properly, that racism isn't just, discrimination. It's more systemic than that, yeah?
Yeah.
Because I didn't quite understand that and I learned on the show. I got called a coon. This was like 2 days before everybody was calling me king for other things that I did. This was like 2 days later.
But this is the internet.
That's the internet.
The internet is so fickle.
Yeah.
You'll say one thing that everyone agrees with, then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, it happens to me all the time. Yeah. I can say something. I put something out the other day. I was talking about colorism. Again, all the black women's like, yes, speak on it. But if I say something again against them, then it's gonna be like, oh, she's such a pick me. And you're right. I've said that twice now, and it's really concerning me that I've said you're right twice.
There's something just there on your lip. Gone now.
Oh, see how nice he is. He's such a caring person.
I thought I was going to say boyfriend then.
I was going to say friend, but I didn't want to friend zone you so early in the conversation.
You wanted to save it for later.
So it's just don't bring your morale down.
Yeah.
Because I know you was quite excited about seeing me today. Yeah.
Carry on.
Anyway, and that's why it's like what you're saying, that you just have to say what you want to say and you move on.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
Everyone will always find something wrong with what you're saying. All the time, there'll always be someone. But Brandy definitely won. I think it was good. They broke the records. There's do you know which is really good about Versus, yeah? Is that it then pushes everyone back into the charts. Because they've gone back into the iTunes charts and all that stuff. Their albums are trending again. And that's what we need.
But what I like about Versus in the past is that it's felt like a celebration of each artist to one another. And that's why I didn't quite like how Monica moved in this one, because I think a big part of the feel good vibes of Versus is that you see these
Brandy
legendary...
I think Monica started acting like that because Brandy was throwing little light shade here and there if you caught it. So did you see when Monica did a song and she was like, oh, is this new? And it was an old song of Monica's. That was one of the things that she done. Then when Monica played slow jams, you know, with Usher. So would you like to dance?
I promise you, this is why people watch the show.
And dance and everything
First of all, why did your spine have to break just then? Why did it just me?
And we danced and fell in love to a slow jam. Sing it. Play another slow jam. This time make it sweet. Play another slow jam. Oh, for me and I. What? Vocals. Anyway, as I was saying, everyone knows.
Sorry, I got my hood up, by the way. I don't know why, but this is just how I feel comfortable today. Everyone
knows that song is Monica and Usher. We all know that, okay? Brandy, after Usher had finished singing, his verse, Brandy said to Monica, leant in and was like, Usher? As if she didn't know Usher was on that song. Tell me that's not shade. She's trying to say, like, how can you not know Usher is on that song? Everybody knows Usher's on that song.
See, this is the problem for me. I always give people the benefit of the doubt.
No, why? How? What is the reason behind her saying Usher?
It's possible she didn't know.
How can you not know?
Mate, that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta leave me. I've got a problem.
But then, even if she didn't know that, then Monica should feel disrespect because it's like, this is probably one of my big songs. How can you not know one of my biggest songs?
Does she have to?
But that's the whole point. That's why Monica then might get in her feelings because it's like, you're saying you're supporting me, but how can you not know one of my biggest songs?
See, that's the thing with me, yeah, is that I like to let people live in their shook worlds until they're ready to come out. So let's say somebody did that to me and I felt like, they're fronting. Until somebody does something to me that is directly antagonistic, because with that one now you're guessing, even though it's an educated guess, I would need Brandy to do something more obvious. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt.
But is it thinking and not knowing for sure if you know the person? So if Monica knows Brandy, they've known each other very well. That's why they've had this feud or whatever, or they fell out for whatever reason. Like you could be in a relationship with someone and an outside person doesn't obviously know how that person goes out of their way to antagonize you. So me and you could be having a discussion. You could say something like, I could be like, oh yeah, something's happening. You could be like, oh yeah, is it really? And I know that's you being smart and trying to get at me. But the outside person would be like, all he asked was, is it really? And then I'd have to be like, no, but I know David. I know what he's doing and I know why he's doing that.
But the thing about us creatives, what I've noticed is, yeah, I'll not watch your video and comment on it. We won't watch it. We'll be friends. We'll do this show every week, right? But we'll watch each other's videos on mute.
I don't. I listen to everything you say. Everything.
Some of us will watch some of our videos. I
watched your video about dating and black men and all that stuff. Right? And then the follow-up one. I mean, just because you watch my stuff on me, don't project what you do on me.
I'm just saying.
So I take time out to watch your stuff, David. And I would hope that you would do the same.
But that's what I'm saying. Fans of either of ours or supporters of either of ours aren't taking time out. They just watch it because they want to. Whereas with us creatives, we can kind of get tired of creatives because like we watch videos with a bit more analytically in it. So like if you watch somebody's videos, you're like, oh yeah, I see what they did there. Oh yeah, I can see the punchline coming up. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, but then the same thing that you said about Monica and her knowing where she is and reading the room is the same thing that Brandy should do. So Brandy should know that if I ask her, is this an old song, that the internet are going to pick that up and make it into a thing. If I ask her if this is Usher, the internet are going to take, so just wait, just don't say nothing at all, just sit there like you wanted Monica to do and nod your head.
Very true.
But I just think that, I don't think there was that much hostility between them as everyone was trying to make it out to be. Also, I just think we need to normalise that not everyone's going to like each other. As long as people are cordial, just because I'm a black woman doesn't mean I need to outwardly support every black woman. I support every black woman, but it doesn't mean I need to like them. I can support somebody and be like, do you know what, I'm glad they've got this deal, they're doing that, they're thriving in their career. It doesn't mean they're my best friend, and it doesn't mean I need to like go underneath their posts and put everything like, yes, sis, yes, queen. And I think there's a lot of fakery on the internet. I think there's, especially in the influencer world, there's big gal. They'll be writing, yes, queen, under every single girl's. And I'm just like, I just think that's too much. I just think it's like, how genuine is this?
So do you support Rachel Dolezal?
I don't support her, but if that's the mission that she wants to carry out in life, then that's her business. Because she's actually, do you know what, yeah? Which is quite a good lead on to Adele and her Bantu Knots and everything, what happened with that Rachel girl, I know who you're talking about, and she genuinely looks like she could be like quarter or mixed race, or quarter or half, do you get what I mean? With her, she's actually helping the black community. Do you know what I mean? She's got a job, so obviously she's getting money, but she actually wants to further the black community. I don't know if I necessarily see anything wrong with that. People like Kim Kardashian and her sisters who monetize off black culture, they're not trying to help, well, Kim is now. But like, do you get what I'm saying? That is where I would have a problem. I don't think it's right necessarily, because maybe that Rachel woman has then taken a black woman's job that could have got that job. That's a different topic. But I think there's a difference between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation. And with the Bantu Knots and Adele, I would say that was cultural appreciation.
I don't feel to have an opinion on it. And you know why I don't feel to have an opinion on it? Because we have to be careful what we do with amplified voices, because a lot of us love Adele, right? A lot of us do, me included. But there might be somebody that doesn't that much care for Adele, that looks at it with a completely different lens to us. And I don't want to disquiet, disapprove, or nullify what they feel.
Yeah, but
do you get what I'm saying?
No, I do, and I think that's bullshit. Their opinion is Their opinion is rubbish.
Are you allowed, when it comes to how you feel when you see something, are you allowed to really tell somebody?
Yeah, because of the context. So the context is she clearly put, today would have been, if Adele put that picture up, and even then I don't agree with them getting at her, but if Adele put the picture up with no caption about Carnival and London, then I would, and she just put up the picture and was just like, the Jamaican flag or something, then people might be able to be like, what's she doing? She's culture appropriating. Why is she making it seem like what's this? They might have a leg to stand on, but she specifically said in the caption, this is for my London people. It would have been Carnival today, basically. Everybody who lives in the UK knows that Carnival is to do with Caribbean culture. So a lot of non-black people, white people, they come and they enjoy Carnival. There's white people in Carnival attire. They will wear flags. They will do their hair and appreciate the culture, because that's what Carnival is about. So in context, she's not culture appropriating. Do you understand what I'm saying? So them saying, oh, and it was mainly African Americans. And what really annoys me about African Americans is only in the last 4 years have you lot even thought to think about where you actually come from. Because before this whole, Africa, Ghana, we were all going to Ghana, Beyonce's embracing African culture, etc., etc. If you ask any African American where they come from, majority of them will tell you America. They didn't know that their ancestors come from Africa. Only in the last 4 to 5 years, I would say, they've started to embrace African, Caribbean culture. They're getting all upset with Adele and you don't even understand the context. Nobody in London looked at that and thought, Adele's taking the piss. And I'm the first to be like, yeah, that doesn't sit well with me. They were like, oh, this is culture appropriation because black women wear a hair like this and we can't go to, and we don't get jobs. But she's not wearing it for a job. She's wearing it because she's celebrating Caribbean culture that everybody does around Bank Holiday Monday because of Carnival.
Like I said, I don't feel any way towards it personally.
I get that.
For me, it's just that
but I think
I'm trying to be very, very careful right now to not ever step on black voices.
No, but
that's all I'm trying to do.
Then we're going into, I think that's when we are going into a slippery slope that everybody then can start saying this is racist, and then that's when the race card, when we do pull it and when we say that this is racist, people start rolling their eyes, because you can't start saying everything is racist or that is cultural appropriation, because when real cultural appropriation happens, people are going to be numb to it.
But that's the thing about racism. There's no board that decides what's racist and what's not, because I've seen a lot of times, right, where we as black people, majority have seen something as racist, and then I'll have 1 or 2 black people in the comments, black people saying, you lot are always pulling the race card, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, who decides?
No, I understand.
And that's what I say, yeah. I didn't know what the general consensus was. So when Adele did that, I weren't gonna ever jump out the window and say, let's say I jumped out the window without looking at the full perspective of how everybody's feeling. and said, I stand with Adele, I love her music, Adele's a G. And then everybody hits me like, I thought you were Sideman Mandela, this, that, blah, blah. That's why I just said, I don't want to speak on it because I don't feel like it's something that needs to be spoken. It's not that deep.
Yeah, but then also what you just said as well is also very worrying because that's what used to happen with me. And like I would speak about black women and then black women expect me not to ever say anything quote unquote against them. And I don't want to live like that. I don't want to, no, but that's basically what you just said. Like even if it doesn't matter, like me, how, like it doesn't, my opinion doesn't rest on, I don't know, I don't want to offend everyone else just in case the general public all as a whole think Adele is wrong. My opinion is my opinion. So my opinion does not vary because I don't want them people to think I'm not for black women. When I spoke on Leanne's wig and it was high up in the air, black women came for me and said I wasn't for black women. But I'm saying, no, I am, because I'm fed up of seeing black women on TV with bad wigs because then it's like we can't do our hair. I know that we can. But my whole point is, I think it's slippery slope when you as a person that speaks on black matters then feel like I can never go against the majority of black people because then I don't want them to think I'm not Sideman Mandela.
No. It's not because I don't want him to think with that. They can think about me what they want.
Or like you don't think you're against them.
It's not that it wasn't deep enough for me to do that over because I don't want to ever tell somebody you can't feel. No, but that's the problem. Like,
I think it is deep enough because we need to start calling out people that want to just always talk about this is cultural appropriation, and then it weakens our argument. It's like the boy who cried wolf. If every time, because they feel sometimes people do need to say, look, I'm sorry, I know like I'm for this, but this is not racism and this is not cultural appropriation. Sorry. Because I think things like that weaken the argument when someone does cultural appropriate. Because then people just look at it and be like, they're always crying about something. That's not like literally, I'm sorry, that is not cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation to me is somebody like Kylie Jenner who benefits off now all of a sudden having fuller lips, which is normally people from an ethnic background that have fuller lips, okay? White people can, but generally speaking, if we're speaking generally, black people from an ethnic background have fuller lips, okay? Whatever the scientific reason is behind that, we don't know, but we do, okay? She has now injected her lips and now profited off having fuller lips, which black women will get told in the past that our lips were rubber lips. To me, that is cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation is when you have now monetized something off my culture or what is deemed to be around my culture and now you've monetized off it. So black women for years have been called rubber lips. Oh, your lips are way too big. Oh, this, that, bubble lips, all these things, monkeys, da. And now white woman's come into the game, injected her lips, made fuller lips a thing and now has made herself a billionaire off fuller lips and a lip kit. Do you understand what I'm saying? To me, that is cultural appropriation.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't have to fight every battle. Just didn't.
100%.
I didn't feel like fighting that one. But speaking on what you were saying earlier about how Americans, when you ask them where they were from, at first they'd just say America. That's African Americans and stuff like that. And you were talking about where the rise in that has come from, and you was talking about Beyonce and everything like that. Let's talk about where I feel like the rise of that came from. Not even the rise, but a big part of that came from Black Panther.
Oh, 100%.
I really feel like definitely. That film.
Yeah.
I walked out of the cinema after I watched Black Panther and I looked at the back of my hand and I said, I'm black. I knew I was black.
But now I'm really
But it's black. Like I was black, and it's a conversation that the world ain't ready for, but as Jamaicans, right, we're quick to say we're Jamaican first, and we would be liars if we sat and act like there wasn't a point in history, especially during school times of people of my age, right, where if somebody called you African, you were quick to not explain to them you were Jamaican. I believe that Black Panther is a big part of allowing all black people to acknowledge, embrace, accept, and celebrate where they are from. Big part of it.
I wouldn't say over here. I think we were miles ahead of that when it came to like. I just think that's how But the reason I agree with that, back in school we would be like, no, I'm not African, I'm from the Caribbean, or like even African people didn't want to be known. Like if you was Nigerian, you'd be like. You might not want to say you're Nigerian, you might want to say you're someone from the Caribbean because it just was more socially acceptable. But obviously that's also to do with the fact that Jamaicans have been here longer. We've got more generations here than, like, do you know what I mean? Like, my mum was born here, so I'm second generation here, whereas a lot of, like, maybe Africans are first generation. Do you get what I mean? So they've got that culture at home still heavily in their house. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's the reason why that was a thing. But I feel like over here we've always been very aware of our background. So Black Panther was a worldwide thing that took over. But I think over here in the UK, we've always been very aware of our background. Do you get what I mean? And
in my opinion, and I said this when Black Panther came out, I said Black Panther is the most important film to come out in the last decade, maybe 2 decades.
Yeah, 100%.
When the film came out, I said that.
Yeah.
Now it has been even more exploded by what we've learned that Chadwick Boseman was going through. Mm-hmm. The fact that while he made all of these movies, he was diagnosed with cancer, and he decided, I'm going to take my time, because I would have took the Black Panther money and I would have lived my life. I wouldn't be, because first of all, let's be very, very clear. Film sets are long and draining.
Oh yeah.
For somebody that's already unwell, film sets are long and 14 to 16 to 18 hour shoot days on a film set are very common. I've filmed scenes, right, for short films that have taken all day for a 5-minute scene, much less a movie. Movies take months, if not a solid year to make. Mm-hmm. And as an actor, to remember all of those scripts, remember, with Black Panther and with every character that he played in the Marvel Universe, which would have been Black Panther, all the films that he played, Black Panther, and then Civil War, and then Infinity War, and then Endgame. That's 4 films of somebody speaking in an accent that's not common to them. So he doesn't have to just learn the scenes. He has to speak in a specific African accent, right, for that many films. Going through all of that while going through what he is going through has only immortalized him, the franchise, and what he means to black people. Mm-hmm. And I think even though I'm very, very sad about his passing and think there was a lot more that he had to offer, we have to celebrate this man.
Oh, 100%. And I think one thing that did kind of, I wouldn't say annoy me, but it was a bit like, did he really, was when people were like, oh, he was suffering in silence. And I didn't see it like that. The people that needed to know knew. His family knew, his friends or his close friends knew.
Telling the internet doesn't mean that.
You're not exactly.
We gotta get out of that.
100%, exactly. And I saw people say, oh, it's so sad that he was suffering in silence. No, the people that needed to know, which is not us, knew. And if anything, it's just like Sarah Harding from Girls Aloud, she's actually come out and said that she's got cancer now as well, and it's spread. And I think what happens is now everything is about her and her cancer, and maybe that's not what he wanted. Maybe he wanted to actually just, like you said, continue acting, do what he loved, make a legacy, because he knew maybe his time was coming to an end, and not be like, Chadwick talks, everything is linked to him having cancer. Do you get what I mean? And we was able to, maybe he didn't want people to feel sorry for him, because that's what happens. You find out someone's really ill, critically ill, and all of a sudden people feel sorry for them and whatever. Another thing that came out of that was everyone then saying, people taking the piss out of him because he was losing a lot of weight, and he done Instagram lives, and when he put pictures up, people was coming for him, and everyone was like, be kind. And I understand that. But then on the other hand, my thing is, so Jess with the Mess, obviously you're a comedian, Jess with the Mess, she came out and said basically, people are like, oh, remember when Jess Hilarious did that whole Jess with the Mess news and basically took the piss out of him and saying about his weight. And then she came out, she's like, I know, I feel so bad, I don't even want to do it anymore. And I just thought to myself, I understand, don't get me wrong, 110% where people are coming from, but is she wrong if that's her profession, where she makes jokes about everyone if she didn't know? Now, I think she'd be wrong if she knew that he was suffering with an illness. But if you don't know that somebody is going through a really tough time, is the creative person whose their job is to talk about things, etc., are they wrong? Because who knows? We could have, if we was doing Coz We Can, when that picture came out of him, we might have discussed it on our show. We might have been like, oh, he's looking really slim. I wonder why. We might have even cracked a joke or, oh yeah, bloody, 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 blah, but not knowing the reason why. Do you get what I'm saying?
I can't imagine myself cracking that joke.
No, not a joke, but you...
No, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think anybody would say anything if we mentioned it. Like, I don't think that's what people's problem is. You just saying, we've noticed that Chadwick Boseman has lost. Because I remember the video coming out and seeing him.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that video, and you could, like, context helps you to formulate the right opinion. We're not.
But what if you don't have any context?
Hold on, I'm saying. We're not talking about a gimmicky person here. We're not talking about, this is a serious guy.
Right.
He takes on, he's very specific with his roles. He's very specific when he speaks, when you watch him in interviews. He's not like I'm not saying he doesn't laugh, but he's not a joker. He's not somebody you look at as a joker. You see him in a video, and in the video, he was talking about serious stuff, and he slimmed down to that extent, right? That concoction of things, I can't imagine myself making a joke out of that.
Even as a comedian, because
that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Why would I make it? I have never in my history made a joke about somebody losing weight to the point. No, never ever made a joke about somebody losing weight. But somebody losing weight to the point where you're actually wondering what's up.
But
I wouldn't make jokes about that.
About a couple of weeks ago, when we were talking about comedians and people talking about stuff, you was basically saying with comedians nothing is off bounds.
Oh no, that's when I was talking about race jokes for satire, and I don't even know where I stand on that. And I did say during the conversation that we had that you brought up fair points. I'm just saying I would not make a joke.
Do you think if your job is a comedian and your job is a comedian, do you think the mess is wrong for doing that?
Yeah. For making, what joke is there to make about a man slimming down to an extent where you're worried about his health? You get what I'm saying? Like, if something's happened to somebody where it's like, yo, this could be an actual health issue.
But I don't think anyone would put the two and two together.
I don't know how you didn't. No, I'm not saying I didn't know that he had cancer.
Yeah, I don't think anyone looked at those pictures and thought, oh, there's something really wrong with him.
No,
or
I thought, whether it's a minor or major, I thought it was a health issue. Right, this is a man that's doing action movies at the moment. A lot of people suggested that he slimmed down for a film role, and it brings me back to when 50 Cent slimmed down.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
But 50 Cent made it clear that he slimmed down for a film role. Chadwick Boseman, I don't believe, would slim down for a film role. I don't think Chadwick Boseman would get that skinny on purpose and not tell anybody if it wasn't for any other reason than the reason that it is. That's what I'm saying. I would have judged it. I would have looked at the whole situation. I just feel like...
But what if he hasn't spoken yet?
No, that's what I'm saying.
So you would wait for him
I would wait because I need to know why he slimmed down like that.
But that's what I'm saying. Her job is to report on stuff that happens quickly.
Reporting is different from this.
Or say something that is her thing. Is her job is a comedian, and as you established a couple of weeks ago, comedians pick out stuff in the world.
Established, I gave an opinion.
No, but I'm saying
that I might be retracted.
No, but we've established that comedians, your job or stuff is to look at things in the world, either pull from it, make jokes from it, like look at the funny side that a normal person like myself would look at it and think like, oh yeah, that. Do you get what I mean? That's what every good comedian does. That's what Kevin Hart does. That's what all these people.
I'm just saying that his weight loss came across to me, whether minor or major, as a health issue.
I think it's difficult. I think when people on the internet like just say things like but I think when it's somebody's job and they like, I think being a comedian is tough. Do you get what I mean? Because that is your job, is to look at things and find the funny side of it. Do you understand? There might even be like loads of comedians have made jokes about COVID, and really no one should be making jokes about COVID. Thousands and thousands of people have died, but we will all still laugh at jokes about COVID. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, where is the line? Like she said she felt really bad, and I think she did. She was just like, I feel so bad because I didn't know. And I felt sorry for her because I thought, but that's your job. So where do you really draw the line of like, do you get what I'm saying? I think
no one knows where you draw the line.
Exactly.
I think it's one of them things where a lot of times you only figure out the line in hindsight.
Yeah.
And but once you figured it out, you figured it out. And for me, I'm just saying that I saw the video of Chadwick Boseman at the time, and I didn't know what it was, and I just thought to myself,
something's not right.
Something's not right.
Yeah.
Didn't ever think, because it went out of my mind. The second I saw that he had died from cancer, I was like, Oh,
that's why he was looking really thin in
That's
videos,
why he was looking
yeah.
really thin. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it anyway.
Yeah, I think like I tweeted that the thing that brought like a comfort to me was that in the statement that they released, they said that he was with his wife and his family. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And they would have been able to like say their goodbyes properly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I found out that my grandpa had cancer, she was literally only here for like 2 weeks after we found out that she had cancer. But in those 2 weeks, everyone kind of was able to like mentally prepare enough. You're never going to be mentally prepared until they actually go.
Yeah.
But you can kind of mentally prepare yourself like, okay, their time is coming to an end and we're going to spend as much time with them as possible and we're all going to be there. Like when she was like transitioning, as you know, they say like Caribbean or black people would say the transitioning thing. When she was like transitioning and the doctor was just like, I think it's because she died at my mum's house. So everyone was there. But the doctor was like, okay, time is basically coming out. Like I'll give it maximum 48 hours you've probably got with her, and it's scary, but it's comforting in a way because everyone can kind of be like, okay, we all need to be around her now, and this is the last moments that we're going to get with her. So and it's like a weird emotion. Do you know what I mean? Like you're laughing, you're crying. It's all. Do you know what I mean? It's so. That's what gave me comfort to think hopefully they had that same type of like, you know, time to say goodbye and enjoy him of what they could for those last, you know.
Cancer's a mad one, bro. My dad had cancer. He's still here.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, my dad's here.
You always do that to me and it scares me.
Yeah, because that's I like to. When I tell people that my dad had cancer, I have to quickly tell them that he's still.
It's mad.
My dad's my best friend's dad. He had cancer as well, and he didn't make it. And same like that, we were all gathered around.
Yeah.
And then, I don't even want to go through that story. But yeah. So it's
that's what gave me comfort. Is like, you know, it wasn't like a sudden. You know, like Kobe, it was a sudden thing. they would never got to say goodbye to him or whatever. But it's sad, man.
But yeah, anytime a black man or any man for that matter, you know, loses his life or has his life physically altered, there is a kind of peace in knowing that it happened at natural causes.
Yeah.
Unlike when you get shot in the back 7 times.
Mate.
Now, this situation, right? There's a lot of ways to be distracted because there's a lot of details to the conversation. Because
I heard he was breaking up a fight. I've heard so many stories.
I've heard that he was reaching for a knife in the car. I've heard a couple different iterations of the story, but
none of that.
My whole thing is this.
Excuses him being shot 7 times.
None of that.
None of them.
For me, right? For me, as an officer, if I was a police officer, right, I would accept that in my line of work, I might have to take a life. But what I'm going to try to do is avoid that at all costs. Remember, the back is a sensitive area. There's so many places in the back you can hit where a person will be, what's the word for it? They will be subdued. They will be unable to retaliate. I would have shot that man in his back if I felt that he needed to be shot once. Because if you shoot a man in his back, you have immediately put yourself in a situation where you can get way more control of the situation way quicker.
Yeah.
And for me, it will be about not taking a life if I don't absolutely have to. And this is the problem. There is a difference whether the person is a criminal or not in how a white criminal and a black criminal will be treated. Because I watched a video the other day on social media of a white guy with like a broom or something. I can't remember what he had in his hand.
I've seen that. Chasing a
police officer, and the police officer is there with his friends and they're all safely circling him.
What do you think it is? Like,
and I tell you what,
candid conversation.
Portrayal?
Do you think
Portrayal. Our portrayal
of ourselves.
We are seen as violent, wild
100%.
barbarians.
But where do you think that comes from?
It comes from the media.
But do you think we have any responsibility?
No.
For the content that we put out?
None.
No.
if you are looking at things,
But now, okay,
We've all put out-
just to be clear,
Yes.
this is not a conversation about is there any reason why, so people understand the conversation that we're now having.
Yeah.
This is not a conversation about should black men be shot. That is an absolute no. We are now talking about the portrayal in the media of us, okay?
And I'm saying
I know you get me, I'm just making sure before they start doing all this. Oh, so you're saying, wait, this is a total different conversation now. My thing is, I agree, it is to do with how we are put in the media.
Yes.
But as I always talk about films, that I think that, and then there's a deeper conversation of why are these films only the films that get commissioned? If every single film we put out is of us in a negative light, like, so if we've got, especially like films in the UK, Intent, Blue Story, all these films that literally highlight black men as drug dealers, that have shootouts in estates all the time, do we think that is why then people look at us and think black people are like this?
Here's what my thing. It doesn't matter because you cannot look at one part of the scope in isolation. You have to look at the whole. Don't just look at black. If you're gonna talk this conversation with me, don't just look at black movies. Let's look at all movies, right? We have to look. We can't just look at that. We have to look at all movies.
We can look
people
at that
don't look. People don't look at mafia movies, where mafia mob bosses kill each other wholesale.
Because then you can watch and you can turn on Channel 5 and see a white man or an Italian man playing a doctor or a judge, where we don't have that. We just have films of us all the time in a negative light.
But that's not our fault. Films are being made
well, then that's,
of
then
us
we
in
have
a
to
nice
then,
light.
100%.
But
then we have
they
to,
don't push them.
100%. But then we have to think about why.
Yeah, but
why
I'm saying,
are they not pushing it?
Oh no, because they want
to push this narrative.
This narrative, yeah.
So then we should then think to ourselves, okay, I understand it's really nice when we get commissioned by this, and I'm like, obviously, if I understand how it is as a filmmaker or a producer or a writer, and you're putting your blood, sweat, and tears into something, and you're just happy for something to get commissioned. But then, as black people, should then we not be thinking, why is it that the only films that I've written, because one time I sat down with Femi, who done Intent, and he said when he goes to get commissioned and stuff like that, these are the films, like sometimes they just push these films, do you know what I mean? And then he also said us as a consumer, he's put out romantic comedies, he's put out this, but Intent is always the one that does really well. So then I guess it's down to us as the consumer as well. Like, we then need to also change, as black people who go and support these films, we need to change, like, if there is a black film that is a romantic comedy, we need to go and watch that as well and support that. So that then, it's like Enterprise with Kaede, you know, the guy, Rose Kaede, and he put out Enterprise. And that's a nice representation of a black boy that wants to be an entrepreneur, he's got a friend, no violence, no whatever. But how many times did you see black people talking about Enterprise? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, but no, what we are also conditioned. We are conditioned to enjoy that type of programming and see ourselves that way as well. But the reality is, the portrayal, right, can't be more important than what the reality is.
Right, okay.
So I don't know if we should be working on having better portrayal or working on a society as understanding that portrayal is portrayal and reality is reality. The reality is that we ain't killed nowhere near the amount of people on planet Earth as white people have, right? That's not me being racist. That's just a fact. I don't walk around road looking at every white person and thinking that they're a killer. So don't look at me and think I'm a killer, bro. Because when you look at some of the greatest atrocities of modern history, like the Holocaust, that wasn't us. Nagasaki and Hiroshima, it's baffling when my mind thinks about it, that America is trying to denuclearize Korea. America is saying to North Korea or South Korea, I can't remember which one yet, you can't have nuclear weapons because we don't trust you.
Right, yeah.
America is the only country in the planet that has let off a nuclear bomb on a place with actual human beings, people, and the place where they hit it off was majority civilians, up to 226,000 people dead.
Yeah,
it's a nuclear bomb. So for months after, people were still getting sick and dying, and yet we are the barbarians of society. Even the mafia has done more than we do. in terms of affecting society negatively, not to mention our economic murder that puts us in the positions where we do the crimes that they call us barbaric for, because we are economically attacked. You can kill somebody by making them poor. You can kill them because poor people have less options. Poor people see less ways out. So maybe the only way we do see out is to make the gangster film. Like, because now you go to a black creative and give him the challenge, right, to go and make the black romantic comedy that nobody wants to watch and push through, right, when he don't have no options, when he needs to pay his rent this month, right? White creators have the ability to make films about trees and forests and plants because their rent's paid. So they have the creative license and freedom to go out and do that. And when people watch a white person in the forest, they look at it and they say, I expect this. I expect a white person to be amongst the trees. But then, or tilling their garden or doing something I expect this white woman and this white man to walk down the road to a jazz cafe and fall in love. But then when you see two black people on the screen, it's like, but they're not murdering each other. So do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, it's, you know what the thing is, yeah? I feel like even my eyes have been opened recently to how bad the world actually is when it comes to black people and racism. Because Black Lives Matter happened and don't get me wrong, I'm still very optimistic.
Yeah.
But when Black Lives Matter, the marches, then I'm like, yo. But then when I seen Tommy Robinson and his squad show up to central London to protect statues, what did we march for? Our lives. We marched for our lives, bro. There was a very big difference between the Black Lives Matter march and Tommy Robinson's march. The Black Lives Matter march was men, women, and children. Tommy Robinson brought 300 Spartans to it's not even, we laugh, but have you seen the video
Yeah,
of them?
I know.
That was 300 grown men. How many 30 to 40, or let's say 30 to 50-year-old black men do you think were actually at the Black Lives Matter marches in comparison to there was mostly children, young people leading that movement, which even the older generation I've said on many occasions, the young people are doing an amazing thing right now. Tommy Robinson brought grown men out, 30 to 35, 40, 50-year-old big men, construction men that were on enough violence to fight the police.
They enjoy that though.
No, but look at the privilege.
Yeah.
That they hit the police. They hit them. They actually done the police physical harm. It's mad out here. Boris Johnson saying that, he said something in a news report the other day that he said Britain should stop being so like wincy and afraid of its history and ashamed of its history. I was like, bro.
They were talking about if they should sing Old Britannia or whatever.
Bro, I saw some Irish guys, right, saying in a video saying the other day that, you know what, Germany accepts its past. Germany, they have events that remember what the country did so that they never forget. For some reason, Britain seems to just want to act like, don't look over here, don't look. Slavery, what? Winston Churchill did what? Oh, no, never mind. So what? We're just going to ignore facts now.
But that's also because, like you said, of what they've been taught. So a lot of these people that are doing, they haven't been taught their true history. They haven't been taught, like, do you get what I mean? They're not taught like, the crown jewels have been stolen. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're not taught that in school. We're just taught like, this is really beautiful, etc. blah, blah, blah. We're not taught the history behind it. So it's just like, a lot of these people, they're not going to ever believe anything different because they've not been taught anything different. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because the way the history is taught in schools is in favour of like, we are really great.
America and Britain are the heroes of the world.
Yep.
And I've grown up seeing it that way.
And imagine that you've grown up seeing that as a black man. So imagine and then as you get older, you start to learn because you start to then experience life that it's not a great thing because you're a black man. You're going to get stopped by the police. You're going to experience racial injustice in the workplace. You're gonna this. You're gonna feel it. But you know. But then imagine a white person who is not gonna feel all those other things that tell them otherwise. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we've learned, oh, Great Britain is great, but then we grew up learning something otherwise because of our actual experience in life. But these white people, they grow up, they don't have the experience. So when you're telling them, actually, Winston Churchill done this, it's here, if you read up, they're going to be like, no, what do you mean? Like, we were taught this in school, and also, this thing that you talk about, racial injustice, they're not experiencing it. So they find it very hard to believe the history of...
And that ignorance would be easier to accept, live with, and help to slowly fix if it wasn't killing us. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it is ignorance. They have grown. It's very difficult to unlearn something that you've been learning for 20, 30 years of your life. That Winston Churchill is a hero.
Exactly,
they depict him in Peaky Blinders as Winston Churchill came in that episode. Did you see that episode? And it's all epic and it's all amazing.
Yeah.
It takes a while to teach them that, but guess what? While you're learning, we're dying. We have to die so you learn.
And we're also living it and experiencing it.
Yeah,
so
and it's not just it's not, as I said, it's not just physical death. It's financial death. It's economic death. It's why black women are more likely to not have their children delivered.
And then also, while we're dying, experiencing it, they then want us to teach them about what is how and why do we believe that this is thing. And obviously, like, we're not going to go into detail, but obviously when all that stuff happened with the BBC with you, then they started calling on black contributors to explain to them why what the BBC had done was wrong. And rightly so, London Hughes, she said, no, they contacted me. And I said, like, I had a conversation with the guy, I told him my views and my thing. After I came off the phone, I thought, I don't want to go on national TV and have to explain to a big establishment what they have done wrong. And then it's not even it's not me even explaining. I have to then debate with someone else that is going to tell me that it's all in my head. Oh, well, maybe you know this, or why do you get to use the word? Like, I don't feel like any other race has to experience it, live it, like you said, die from it, and then educate everybody else, and then while we're educating, have another counterpart telling us, oh, but don't you just think you're being a bit sensitive? This has nothing to do with race.
I don't know if I want to say I don't feel like any other race experiences it. All I know is we're experiencing it, and it don't feel nice. It's not. Oh, every race is experienced in like prejudice and whatever. But I don't see people having to go on national TV and explain and debate with somebody from that race as to why they are being racist, or why this is racist, I think they do, but what I'll say is we are at.
Do you think?
Yeah, no, they do.
I've not seen other races have to go on national TV and talk about why something is racist when it's been called racist.
Our lenses aren't attuned to that because we're focused on our thing.
No, because I watch Good Morning Britain. And very rarely do I see other races have to go on there and explain, unless there's somebody unless they're brown, and talk about, you know, prejudice.
That's what I meant. Yeah. All I know is we are at the bottom of the barrel of society.
Oh, and yeah, but I've been saying this, and when people, and I say this, but you're just, actually no, we're not. We are.
We are. That's
we are. We really are.
We're at the bottom of the barrel, and it doesn't help. The portrayal issue doesn't help when the president of the United States, when asked about the 17-year-old white kid with a gun walking around that's killed people, asked about him, he refused to condemn him and said he must have been scared.
Yeah, and
he probably would have died.
They probably would have killed him first.
Listen, you see, if Donald Trump gets voted in as president again, which he will. Yeah. I think America is going off.
America is basically like Satan's land right now.
No, but I mean, I'm talking about, I really feel like it's gonna pop off, because I feel like people right now are fighting injustice, and everybody is screaming, let's fight. Every celebrity, white, black, brown, everything. I've seen Jennifer Aniston posting about this. Jennifer Aniston posted a video by somebody that used to work in government saying that Donald Trump's rhetoric is scary because it empowers people like the KKK. When Donald Trump tells people that they should go back to where they come from, when Donald Trump looks at somebody that's actually Oriental that asks him about why he always boasts about America's coronavirus. He was boasting about how many people haven't died or blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, why are you boasting? And then he looks at somebody that's Oriental and says, go ask the Chinese. When he does racist or things that appear and come off as racist like that, it actually empowers those people to be like, our president's got our back. When he gets voted in again after people try, it's exactly how, I don't want to go into that, but it's exactly how I felt knowing that 18,600 people did it the right way and it didn't work. Now, if all those people go and vote, right, and then Donald Trump is still elected, I think people are going to be like, Bonnet,
I think the problem with America...
It is what it is now.
I think the problem with America, and I think that's what happened with...
I think whatever protests and burning you've seen happen, I think it'll be way worse.
I think that what the problem is with America is that, which I think happened with Hillary, was that they're both not the best decisions. Like, Biden is not the best either. Black people don't think Biden is the best for them either. It's just the best of a bad bunch. And I think that's the problem that they're facing at the moment.
The problem is it doesn't matter because all of these celebrities that keep telling people to vote, young people go out and vote. The people that care about celebrities in America, are from California, New York, Chicago, those states, those places. I don't know which one's a state. New York is a state.
Yeah.
Places like that. America has 50 states.
I know.
And about 46 of them couldn't care less about what Jennifer Aniston has to say. Barely see any black people and don't really like them. So now what? It goes to another point as well. Since we've been talking about all this and we're going to close. Black fatigue in the fight. I've been seeing a couple of people say it can get very, very wearying seeing all of this.
Oh my God, tell me.
I just want to let you lot know, as somebody that's fighting that fight with you, I'm going to tell you how I do it. Because no one ain't going to steal my black joy,
Black boy joy, honey.
You get what I'm saying? I
want to ask your opinion as a comedian about the Famalam thing that happened it happened last week. It all blew up on Twitter. Do you think it happened?
Yeah.
And what do you think of that? Would you think people being oversensitive?
It all depends on who
as a Jamaican,
wrote the jokes.
As a Jamaican, was you offended by that?
No.
I wasn't either. I just think it's...
I mean, if you actually watch Jamaican plays and stuff like that.
Exactly, like Blue... What's that thing?
Nobody takes the mick out of us more than ourselves.
Blue Mountain. What's that thing? You guys Hackney Empire when you slapped it.
The problem is just poor marketing in the sense that they released a clip that wasn't favourable first, because I watched a lot of clips afterwards that everybody loved.
They're not going to know that because before they've...
No, listen, it's marketing, whoever did do the marketing.
I don't, that's what I'm saying, I don't blame marketing. It's however we decide to react again, like how we got upset about the Bantu Knots, because they literally released one of the Jamaicans when they was like, he's Nigerian, which is hilarious. And everyone was laughing at that.
Yeah,
but that's still a stereotype.
But that wasn't the first one released.
No, but that's what I'm saying. If you're going to be upset with it because it's a Jamaican stereotype, then be upset with that one as well. Yeah. Because, and how are you supposed to know that? If your whole show is built off stereotypes, what I didn't like as well is then black people were... It's already hard, like we all know, it's already hard for us to get commissioned to do stuff. Yeah. And then black people started a petition saying they wanted it taken off. The High Commissioner of Jamaica tweeting saying they want to speak to the BBC. Bruv, you got things to sort out in Jamaica. There's bare things happening that you need to address at home first before you start tweeting the BBC. Okay? And you got the cheek to be saying you want to chat to the BBC. Bruv, chat to the people at home and ask and figure out why certain things are going on in Jamaica.
We got our
exactly. My man, she's on Twitter. Whoever it was on Twitter talking out. I just thought again,
Jamaica land we love.
But again, that goes to my point back in the beginning. I think that's when we need to figure out what we. I was speaking to somebody and he made a really good point, and he's like, do we ever collectively as black people come together and celebrate something as an actual entirety?
We do.
What?
We do.
What? Something like that. that is not necessarily and then people talk about harmful representations. Oh, this is harmful representation of black people, of this, of Caribbeans.
For me, as long as I know that black people wrote it,
that me as well.
cool.
I don't. Yeah, and
it would obviously be way more annoying if you know there's white writers in the background and that's how they see us. And they're doing
but if
that.
it's a black writer, if it's a black cast, Tommy put out and said it's a black cast, etc., black writers, I can't believe that people are. And again, this is what I mean. As black people, we pick and choose when we want to be really offended by things.
And but again, for me, as a black person, you have a right to be offended by whatever you want to be offended by. I might not necessarily agree,
but then it weakens the argument.
We have that right. For me, I'm not on that weaken the argument thing.
I'll
tell you why. No, I tell you why. Because our argument isn't one that can be weakened. We want to live and eat.
Of course, but then we can't complain then. Oh, no, they don't. We don't have any shows. There's this. Why is everything to do with this? Why? And then you put out a comedy sketch show, and again, now you found something wrong with that.
Yeah, but
but the thing is,
the reason why we're not getting those things is not because we complain about that.
No, yeah, but it's not. Yeah, but then if I was like, if everything then that gets put out, there's going to be something wrong with it. Then why would I start? Why would I just be like, I'm just going to stay away from that. If I'm somebody that's dishing out the money all the time, and every time I put some black content out, someone finds something wrong with it, I'm just going to think it's not worth it.
But so what? People find stuff wrong with stuff. That's not a black thing.
Okay,
that's not a black thing.
Wait, because it's not a black thing, okay? But we very often will cry about not having representation. Oh, we only get this, we only get that. There's not enough black writers, okay? You're on one hand, okay, fair enough. We're going to go by the rhetoric of who are we to police how black people feel? Then who are we as black people to then keep policing?
We're not policing, we're giving opinions.
We're not. The girl that wrote the article was like, for whoever she writes for, wrote a whole article about this is why it's this is why it's that. That's another black person.
That's how she feels.
Thing. Okay, well then I just think it doesn't make sense.
No, I might even agree with you, but my whole thing is that
you're just sitting on the fence.
No, I'm not.
You are.
I'm explaining something. You know what it is? I'll explain exactly what I'm thinking here. White people have the luxury. Have you ever listened, I've been watching a lot of films on Netflix recently because I'm unemployed now, so I got more time. Yeah. And every time I watch a film on Netflix, I go to the reviews that the people had reviewed on the film. White reviewers, they take the living mick out of films. Like, it'll be a film that I enjoyed, and then I'll go to it, and then it'll be like 2 out of 10 stars. This was abysmal. The script was absolutely...
That's fine.
Let me just finish.
That's fine.
Let me just finish. The script was absolutely unoriginal. His worst work, rare, blah, blah, blah. Because white people have the luxury to love and hate their stuff without having to think about, if I don't love this, I'm tearing down my community.
Okay.
And I think that it's unfair that we as black people have to... You know what? In society, black people have been forced into the corner of, listen, how together, and it goes back to the point of what you were saying, is we need to be able to just not like each other or not like things, how together we are being forced to be just to survive is unnatural.
But my whole thing
it's unnatural, bro. White people are not sitting there huddling up together in the same way. Maybe now when you see the Tabby Robinsons come out and defend their statues, but that's because they felt under attack. It's not regular for them. You get what I'm saying? We have to every day be like, you know what? I can't give my opinion on this because now I'm a coon.
I've said that, but then I don't think that other black people should be campaigning for a show that is done by predominantly all black people, writers, cast, for it to be coming off TV.
I don't think they should, but they can.
I can give my opinion on intent and say I don't really like it, but it doesn't mean I don't like Femi or Nikki Slimting who have put it together. I just don't enjoy that one that they've done. I think that's okay, and I agree with that. If you say you don't like something that's a black creator's come out with, but I would never go to write a petition and be like, let's get intent taken off a thing. It's just a thing.
But white people do that all the time. 13 reasons why.
David.
13 reasons why people campaign to get that off screen.
We have already addressed the idea that we are at the bottom economically. So this narrative that you always keep pushing of, but white people can do it. There's certain things that white people can do that we, at the moment, we can't afford to do it because we're not at the same level. For
it's just annoying. It's just annoying.
Of course it is. I understand, but I'm saying there's certain things like, okay, you don't like the sketch that was brought out by Famalam. Let's have that discussion. Great, I can disagree with you, but to take it a step further, where now you're campaigning for that to be taken off, you put a petition for it to be taken off TV. That, to me, is redundant and it's backwards. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Another black man has been able to get commissioned by the BBC, put out some funny content, put out different content that we were just talking about, and you're campaigning to take it off.
In that person's mind, the power that person has been given is causing more hurt than help. And I'm just saying, in their mind, they're not campaigning because they're just like, yo, I want to tear down black creatives. In their mind,
is it though?
Famalam.
Is it not?
I don't know.
Because anyone in their right mind should be able to fix that. Like, I mean, people.
But no, so I'm saying this goes back to what I was saying about thinking about things not just an isolated way, but looking at the whole thing. Anyway, this is not what we was talking about. All I'm saying is black fatigue. All I'm saying is, right, I'm going to tell people, I personally put all of this down sometimes and I don't feel guilty about it. So it's like one day I do a video about our stuff, yeah.
Jealous girlfriends and boyfriends, I saw that.
And no. I'm saying one day I'll do a video about black stuff.
Yeah.
And then the next video I'll do something completely not on Black Lives Matter.
That's what I'm saying. What about jealous boyfriends and girlfriends?
Oh yeah, no, but that wasn't the video that I was thinking about. It was another video.
Yeah.
I'll just do a video about jealous thingy.
So a difference.
And then somebody will be like, bro, carry on the conversation. I looked at somebody who's like, oh bro, we're supposed to be carrying on the conversation. I'm like, what more do you want?
I know it's
me. Like
it is draining.
No, it's not draining because I stopped.
No, I'm saying no, it is draining because that's why you have to stop, because it gets to the point where it becomes draining as being the voice of something or being out there to keep talking about something, and then, like I was saying before, everyone has different opinions. So then I give my opinion, and now there's somebody in the comments counteracting my opinion. And because I'm passionate about it, I'm now warring with you and saying, well, actually, this is
There ain't be no warring in no comment section for me.
But I'm saying you've been there, and that's why you have to, like you said, put it down and just be like.
I'm telling you right now, do not ever feel guilty when you put it down, because an unrefreshed fighter dies in battle.
Oh, words, click.
So,
click.
Sometimes you gotta rest.
Sometimes you just get your fucked as well. That's one thing that you need to do, David, in life. You need to release, and I just feel like you're not releasing, and that's really important. That is a really important thing. My skin is glowing, everything is glowing because I'm releasing. Do you know what I mean? And that's what, I'm just saying. And ladies, listen, everyone's been asking about my skincare routine. It's release.
I'm living
that is my skincare routine.
Moment
and you're smiling and you're happy.
Because of you.
And I sing because I'm happy. And I sing because I'm free.
That was Coz We Can.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, nada. You ain't going to take no gospel song. That's because we can. We'll be back next week. We're back now. We ain't going nowhere.
Well, what about when I want to go on holiday? What happens?
Zoom. We're back and we're here to stay. Remember, if you want to advertise with the show, email my manager harry@soincredible.tv. Startup businesses, we are here for you. We are not giving you our corporate prices. We are pricing it appropriately so that you can be able to advertise your business. We've had many people advertise with us so far and they've enjoyed that.
The fruits of that.
Yeah, and that relationship. So, we're out.
I was in the trap house. Man was breaking down mountains.